What is up, guys? It's Michael here from the Goalkeepers Union, filming this video today to discuss whether you should take a gap year. Now, this is applied specifically for goalkeepers. If you're a field player, some of these things apply, some of these things don't. So if you are watching this video and you are a field player, stick with me because I do think this could still be beneficial, but I will be talking about it from a goalkeeper's perspective. Now, here's a nice little, I don't want to say pros and cons list because I think each player is going to have a unique situation, but I want to give you some information as to why you should take a gap year, in my opinion, and why you shouldn't. For me, taking a gap year as a goalkeeper is a no-brainer. I'm just going to put that out there. I think every goalkeeper should be taking a gap year. Granted, there are some things that if you have a huge scholarship that you're being recruited on, if you're guaranteed that you're going to be the number one, I put guarantee there with an asterisk because sports, life in general, change very quickly. And what might be your freshman year could look very different to your sophomore, junior, senior year. So I think you should be careful anytime someone guarantees you anything because no one knows what the future holds. But as I mentioned, if you're a youth national team player, come from an LS academy, have a stacked resume where you know that you're going to come in and really have a good chance of being the number one and being the guy, then a gap year might not make sense. But here's why you should. Goalkeepers mature much, much later. We know that goalkeepers don't hit their prime until 26, 27. And ultimately, this is going to give you more time to develop not only physically, mentally, in your game as well, getting more reps. The college season is extremely short. You play 12 to basically 15 games in the regular season. Yeah, you might get a few extras in preseason, and if you have a good playoff run, you'll get a few more there. But ultimately, the amount of games you're going to get in a gap year is going to be much more than you'll get in a short college season. The other reason is you want to preserve your clock. Once you play D1, once you enter school, you're on the team, your clock starts, and you basically got 5 years to finish it. If you've got another year to keep developing, keep improving, keep playing at a high level, you might get better college offers. You can continue to build on those relationships that you've already established with coaches. And ultimately, I think it's going to help you in the long run because these coaches are already interested in knowing that you're going to get another year of development is going to be even more exciting for them. There's going to be increased competition from eligibility extensions. If guys are getting more years, it's going to make it very difficult for you to potentially get your foot in the door, particularly for goalkeepers. As I mentioned, goalkeepers mature later. So if you've got a junior, senior, even a redshirt senior, and these guys are getting extra years, we saw this happen during COVID. A lot of the underclassmen get thrown under the bus because these older guys have already been in the programs, they've already have college experience, and it's just extremely hard to compete against that. And that goes into the strategic advantages ultimately having the ability to really plan out, what you want your future to look like. If soccer is what you want to do, then I think you need to do what's best for soccer. Now, if you want to just go for college, you just want the experience, you want to get your education, then that's a whole different conversation. Now, I put these D1 roster limits here with the asterisks because this can kind of go both ways. On one hand, it can help you because if you get in early and there's a limited roster, you've got your foot in the door, you've secured that spot. But on the other hand, if you take a gap year and a school that you were potentially talking to, if they decide to keep their goalkeepers and then now there's no space for you, well, you're out of luck. So here's why you shouldn't. We already talked a little bit about the guarantees. As I mentioned, I put the asterisks there. Here's why you shouldn't take a gap year because when you get into college, you're immediately getting the benefits of being in a relatively professional environment, depending on where you go, professional coaches, training. You are living life basically as a professional soccer player, other than, of course, going to school. It will also give you time to settle in. A lot of goalkeepers and just college kids in general might struggle when they get to college if it's their first time living away from home, living in a dorm with two other guys. There's a lot of things that are changing, and so you don't want your performance on the field to suffer. So giving yourself a chance, like a year to just settle in, I think could be very helpful. And as we've seen in the NCAA, rules are changing like crazy. So you might take a gap year, the rules change, and then you end up getting screwed because they changed some rule or whatever that you ended up losing eligibility because you took that gap year. So again, this is not a one size fits all by all means. My goal here is just to give you information as to why I think this could be beneficial. So this is found in our community for goalkeepers called the Goalkeepers Union. We're an online community that gives goalkeepers the tools and resources that they need to achieve their goals. I created this as a way to give back to goalkeepers. And what's really cool is now the community has been structured and developed by professional goalkeepers, professional goalkeeper coaches. And it's not just my ideology, it is a collection of ideologies from goalkeepers all over the world to make sure that any problem you have as a goalkeeper, you can come to us and we'll be able to help you. So this is here in our college recruiting guide. As you can see, I talked a little bit more about what I've already spoken to you here. And ultimately, the next thing that I want to show you is if you do decide to take a gap year, what are some potential options? So here's one program that I am familiar with. I'm sure there's many out there that are similar, but from what I've seen, this program is doing it really well. If you are in the community and you're watching this video, I've already done another video explaining more in detail about ultimately every little thing. For the time's sake of this video, I'm just going to basically run through it briefly. And ultimately, what this program is a gap year program in Germany. You are integrated into a Bundesliga training system. Now, I want to be very clear, you are not actually playing for a Bundesliga academy. You think of it like a franchise to where you're wearing the jersey, you're near the facilities, you see the stadium, you train next to the stadium every single day, but you are not actually playing under the Bundesliga title as a youth academy. So I'll let this load up here. Give it a second. If it doesn't load, I'll pull it up through a different method. But ultimately, this is just going to give you a chance as a goalkeeper to get another year of development, as we spoke about, get more games, and getting those games in an extremely competitive environment like Europe, and not just like Europe, but Germany. Germany is known for being, one of, if not the best nation in Europe for developing footballers. So, going to Europe and having this chance is really, really good. So give me 1 second. Unfortunately, this is not getting pulled up. Should be able to get it up for you here in a second. So just give me 1 quick second while I pull this up. Gonna unshare my screen, share it again, and boom, we are good to go. So this is FC Cologne International Talent Pathway. As I mentioned, huge club that's in Europe. Developed some really top players. Florian Wirtz, he scored today for Liverpool. As you can see, wearing the jerseys, full staff, completely taken care of. And this is, what your pathway might look like, where ultimately you decide to take a gap year, you want to go to college, and or you skip that completely and you go play semi-pro, or maybe say, hey, soccer's not for me. I gave it a go, and you've got life after sport. What's really cool with this particular program and its location is that you're in such proximity to 40 professional teams, not to mention that's just professional, not alone, not even to mention semi-pro clubs and even fourth division in Germany, which is really, really high level football. So very professional. Now, if I were to do a gap year, this is how I would do it. I wouldn't just, train with my friends and go to the park. If you're going to do a gap year, you have to be in a system that is similar to a professional or collegiate environment. Maybe a gap year means just staying with the club that you're already at if you fall within the age range of what is, accessible and available to you. What's cool with this is that you continue to do classes, so you can even get your prereqs done, and that's going to make you a much more attractive recruit for college coaches because that's less scholarship money that they're going to have to give you. And I know that sounds like a bad thing, but if financially you can, be attractive to the coach, that's going to help them out a lot as well. So as I mentioned, that's just a brief overview as to that program and what it has to offer. But ultimately, that is all of my insight as to what I would personally do if I decided to take a gap year. To summarize, I think for goalkeepers, this is a no-brainer and can be extremely beneficial in your development. If you got any thoughts, questions, comments, drop them in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and if you want to join our community, we've got a bunch of tools and resources to help goalkeepers achieve their goals. That will also be linked below. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.